Welcome to BS Draftcast, where we are Brandon and Steven, and we are back at you with another video covering the divisional round of football after a wild card weekend. As always, I got Steven on the other line with me. How you doing today, Steven?
I'm doing all right, man. Dealing with a cold or something, as you're aware. So, if I go if I get quiet randomly, that's me muting myself so I don't cough in everybody's ear. So,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, man. What a weekend for wild card football, and obviously we seen the Texans win. We took the Texans. We seen the Commanders beat the Buccaneers. We took the Commanders. Uh, Big shocker was the Rams, man. Shocked the world and stomped on the Vikings. And then obviously, my beloved Steelers lost to the Ravens. And the Ravens literally looked dominant. They absolutely looked dominant. Let's dive right into this first game, man. Houston versus Kansas City. 4:30 game tomorrow. I think all of America's rooting for the Texans. But the only bad part is, man, the Chiefs are healthy now. They got the receivers. They got everyone's healthy. Um, maybe the rust, maybe not playing their starters for 2 weeks can benefit the Texans. But if that Texans defense plays like they did last week against the Chargers, it might give Kansas City some fits. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree with that. I'm glad you brought that up, man. The Texans defense was, man, they had them ears pinned back, dude. They were going at freaking Justin Herbert all night, dude. Um, yeah, yeah, dude. If the Texans play like that, I think they do have a legitimate chance. The 2 week thing, like I feel like I say it every year, but man, I'm just like Kansas City, like they've been here before. How many freaking times over the years? Like over the past few years. I mean, god dang, dude. Like they're used to the first round bye, so they'll
Right,
be fine. Like
they'll
you
be
said, they're
ready.
healthy. Everything just fell into place. It's amazing. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think everybody's pretty much a Texans fan tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that Texans defense. I mean, it looked like the Texans defense we anticipated. Offense looked kind of lackluster out the gate, uh, but when they needed the big drive, they put together a big drive, and they went down and scored that 99-yard drive they put together, and they did what they had to do. C.J. Stroud still doesn't look like C.J. Stroud from last year. But we're gonna need that C.J. Stroud if we want the Texans to pull an upset over the Chiefs. And hey, you know what? I wouldn't be mad at a Baltimore Texans championship weekend. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't be upset with it either. I just, like you said, we just need to see better production out of CJ, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you look at the score and you're like, damn, like Texans offense, like it's like no, that's not
Nope.
really,
Defense.
like yeah,
The
yeah,
defense.
freaking yeah. The Chargers beat themselves anyway, man. That game was it was just bad all around. Like Justin Herbert threw 4 picks. Two of those weren't his fault, and he's getting a lot of flack for like, oh, he threw 4 interceptions. He sucks, dude. You've seen Quentin Johnston. I don't know how many passes that dude dropped, three or four.
It was bad.
Like
It was bad.
it was bad. The Chargers just looked like shit. But the Texans, man, yeah, they got Joe Mixon running. Got him rolling. They can do that against Kansas City, man. The Texans, they have a legitimate chance.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. Um, I hope that the Texans don't come out like they did the last time they played the Chiefs in the playoffs and go up 21-0, and everyone's excited, and then they get nuked on like 42-27 or whatever it was. um, but yeah, I think the key to success here with the Texans is that run game. If they don't aren't able to run the ball, that plays right into the Chiefs' hands. I mean, that's huge. That's what the Chiefs want. I mean, they want you to try and air it out and throw it all over the place and throwing the ball 40 times in the game. If they can get Joe Mixon rolling early, control the clock, control field position, and that defense plays like they did, I think we're gonna see a good game. Which I mean, that leads me right into the pick, man. Like I think 8.5 points is a lot. especially the way the Texans played. D'Amico had that team ready to play. No one really gave the Texans a shot against the Chargers, and other than that first drive of the game, that the Chargers walked down the field and just I was like, oh damn, it's gonna be a long day for this Texans team, and then that defense just dug their heels in and locked up. So if that defense can come to play like they did last week, I think we're in for a close game, a lot closer than people think. It could come down to a last second field goal, Chiefs side or Texans side, and hopefully it's like 50 plus for Fairbear, not under, because we all know how he is under like 30 yards.
Yeah, no kidding.
What's your pick in this game? I personally think that the Chiefs win this game. Unfortunately, I wish I could go the other way, but Andy Reid has them dudes ready to play, especially playoff football, and we know what Patrick Mahomes does. And obviously, you say it every time we talk about the Chiefs. The Texans are going to have to play a perfect game and not let the refs get involved. But I do think that the Texans keep it close.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think the Texans, I think they keep it close. But I think it's like you said, because of their defense. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in this one too, and just because the Texans just offensively they just look out of sorts with for whatever reason. And the Chiefs are pretty tough against the run too, so they may not be able to get Joe Mixon going like they would want to. So that could really throw a wrench in things too. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
And I leaned on the 8.5 early, the spread, and I do think it's gonna be a close game. But I think the pick that I'm gonna go with this week is the over 41.5. I think there's gonna be some points scored. 21 points apiece ain't far fetched, and I mean, CJ's been prone to throw interceptions, and so has Patrick Mahomes. So if one of them return for a pick six on either side, I mean that sets us up perfect for a 41 to get over that 41.5. So I think that is going to be the pick that we go with tomorrow, 41.5 over the total. Commanders versus Lions, big matchup. Obviously, no one gives the Commanders a shot. Do I think that the Commanders are going to win this game? I don't. But I think that the Lions are susceptible to some points. I mean, it's been shown every week. They're susceptible to points. They give up points. I know they're not the healthiest, but for that Commanders, man, Jane Daniels did what he had to do in that game to beat the Buccaneers, which no one gave him a shot. And hats off to him, man. They crumble. They go down the field. They get the doink field goal for the win. 23-20 game. I just think that the Lions are too much for the Lions for the Commanders to withstand. What's your thoughts with Lions game, especially coming off of a bye week? Obviously, big news: Dave Montgomery off the injury report, dude. I don't know how he did it, but he's back.
Dude, I don't know either.
I mean, they're talking about it's over, it's done, and this dude goes, "No, I'm getting a second opinion," and comes out and he's off the injury report. Like, I mean, that's unbelievable. That's off to Dave Montgomery, man. I hope that he doesn't re-aggravate it or hurt it worse. And they lean more on Jameer, just in the instance that something he were to re-aggravate it. But dude, that's awesome that he's playing. I mean, that's awesome. But what's your thoughts on this Lions Commanders matchup, man? Do you think that the Commanders defense stands a chance against Lions offense?
I think Commanders fans have something to be excited about. I think with Jaden Daniels, you can never really say you can never say never type of thing. Like his ability to string together game-winning drives and get you in a position to possibly win the game is.
What was the
I mean, it's not
about it all year this year? Like how calm and cool he is, and how he's not phased.
Brand, you cut out.
Oh, you hear me? Uh oh. Hang on 1 second. Get Steven back on the line.
What?
I'm not sure what happened there.
I'm not either.
No, I was saying like Jaden. He's just you hear people talk about it all year. I mean, how cool he is, how calm, how like he's like a veteran out there. Like nothing's phasing him, and he's ready for the challenge. My biggest fear is just the Lions. I don't know if the
Yes.
Commanders' defense can stop the Lions' offense.
I agree. Yeah, yeah, because then they're gonna have to match for points, and I mean the way the Lions defense has been playing too, even with all the injuries that they've had, like they've been very aggressive. Like Aaron Glenn has done a hell of a job keeping that
yeah,
defense. I
yeah.
mean, he's kept them tip top after all those injuries. So hats off to Aaron Glenn. I know we gave him a shout out last week, but just keeping those guys hungry, keeping them locked in. Obviously, Dan Campbell, in the way that he is, he gets everything he can out of anybody. So hats off to those guys, man, keeping that defense because they've been playing really well for all the injuries and everything they've had. But yeah, the Commanders' defense, that's kind of been they look good and then they look bad, and they look good and they look bad. They need to do some work on that defense in the off season. I'm not saying that they're going to lose. I think they do have a chance to win. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion if they do lose, but
Okay.
I agree. I think the Lions are they're a handful right now. I mean, with the running game, and then they're like, oh, okay, we'll switch it up. We'll go deep to JMO. We'll fricking hit you across the middle or up the seam with Laporta. I don't have that. It gives out the backfield. Hit fricking Sun God. Like they just Jared Goff has great control of this offense.
I mean, they're throwing passes
And
with Penny Sewell.
yeah, like they're just out there. They're doing fake fumbles and shit. You know what I mean? Like they're just dicking around at this point. So I'm gonna go with the Lions in this one, but I mean, I wouldn't be like jaw on the floor if Jaden Daniels pulled something out of his ass in the last minute of the game.
The potential upset, and wouldn't be
There's
shocked about it.
potential. There's potential, yeah. Because if Dan Campbell tries to get a little, like yeah, we're going for it, like
It could turn the tide. Turn the tide.
there's a chance.
Now here, that actually leads me, like you mentioned in the running game for the Lions, it leads me into my question with the Commanders. I wanted to ask you. The Commanders really didn't have a run game last week against the Buccaneers, and don't get me wrong, Vita Vea is an absolute monster. Vita Vea is one of my favorite players, dude. I love Vita Vea, but
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Daniels was the leading rusher with 39 yards.
Yep,
Is that concerning going into Detroit for you?
absolutely. Because then you become just one dimensional, and Jaden's trying to do too much, and when your quarterback's the leading rusher, I mean, obviously being a Ravens fan, like kind of see it pretty often, over the years.
Right,
But as a whole, like you don't want that. You don't want him to be put in those situations where like you can't get any running game going. At least we had like J.K. Rowland or Gus or whatever. So
right.
I mean, when they're not able to get anything going, I mean, Eckler they put him in to kind of like change it up, for B-Rob because B-Rob wasn't getting shit going, and then Eckler couldn't do nothing, and I'm like. Commanders need to do some of that run game. I don't know if it's the offensive line. I don't know if it's B-Rob and Eckler. I don't know what it is, man. But that could pose a huge problem, man. You become one dimensional against that Lions defense, dude, and they pin them ears back. Like Kalijah Cansey was blowing up that offensive line
Oh,
last week.
bad, bad.
Kalijah Cansey was everywhere. So yeah, that line was getting they were getting dealt with. Dude, they were getting dealt with, bro. Um, so yeah, that's something to watch, man. Yeah, if they can't get the run game going, that could be a problem for the Commanders.
Danny McLeod said, "Commanders Ravens Super Bowl." Listen, I wouldn't be mad at a Commanders Ravens Super Bowl, and I wouldn't be mad at a Detroit Ravens Super Bowl. I would not at all. I would love to see it. I would love to see it, bro.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, it wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I do wanna, I do wanna point out like something that's very shocking to me. And I just did a little research and whatnot. That Commanders Buccaneers game last week. You know that Baker Mayfield only threw the ball 18 times.
No,
He was 15 for 18, 185, two tuds. Like that's shocking to me. As to I mean, I guess I have to break it down even more. The Commanders controlled the hell out of the clock. That's
Yeah,
wild.
that Jaden Daniels. I remember they were driving down the field, dude. It was like a 9-minute drive, something crazy. I was like, dude, what?
I
Like
mean,
they had the ball forever.
the Buccaneers only seen the ball for 24 minutes and 34 seconds. That's wild. That's actually
Yeah,
that's good control by the Commanders to control him and keep Baker off the field, I guess. And I mean, obviously close game, 23-20. But Jaden threw the ball 35 times, so that just goes to tell you that they abandoned the run. They said, you know what, this run ain't working. We're throwing this ball all game long.
yeah.
I
That's
do
what it
want to
tells
shout
me.
out Baker Mayfield though, bro. Dude, what Baker Mayfield is doing in Tampa Bay is awesome.
Yeah, it's nothing short of awesome, man. That dude, honestly, if you look at like who's been the most valuable player of their team, like you can say like obviously Josh Allen. If they lose Josh Allen, if they lose Lamar, if they lose this, but I mean mid-season, dude, without Evans, without Godwin and stuff, and
Yep.
Kate Otten was dealing with that knee injury and stuff like that. Like there were some dark days, man. But Baker Mayfield, he's stuck in there. Him and Bucky Irving, man. Like they just
Yeah.
I don't know. They kept winning games, man. So yeah, shout out to Baker, man. Hopefully they get healthy next year, bolster that defense, and we see him again next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And another Baker Mayfield shout out when he ran Bobby Wagner over. I was like, damn.
Dude, I was hype. I was like, all right, okay, Baker. Like Baker, I'm trying to win this shit.
Baker out here like Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, that was like Oklahoma Baker Mayfield, dude, out there
Yeah,
alone in the
dude.
boom and shit. I was like, okay, good, man.
Oh man, it's I hate the fact that I'm sitting here. I have the games up on on the stream, and like obviously wildcard weekend there's a lot of games, and then now divisional there's only four, and like it's like depressing, like that we're just dwindling down. Next week it's gonna be two, and then 2 weeks after that it's the Super Bowl. It sucks.
What do you mean, dude? You forgot about the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah, Pro Bowl, right?
Yeah, you forgot about the Pro Bowl, dude. You can't forget about the Pro Bowl.
Be all
Tug of
geeked up for
war,
that.
dodgeball.
Dodgeball, flag football.
Yeah,
Yep, sounds exciting.
yeah, sounds great.
Here's a question, sticking on the Lions topic. Where do you think Ben Johnson goes?
I read a report a minute ago. So we both talked about the Patriots. No, that was Aaron Glenn. There was another one that Ben Johnson might have been the Raiders. He said like I'm not going to the Raiders, and then he said I'm not going to. I think today it was the Cowboys. Like he's not interested in going to the Cowboys.
Okay.
I figured though with Tom Brady being over there, I figured he'd be interested in the Raiders job. Um, so maybe that'll change. I know at first he said he wasn't, but I read something else that like Tom Brady had reached out to him, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
So who knows? Maybe he'll end up with the Raiders. But I mean, it's kind of a tough situation to go to, being a first time head coach. Whenever you don't have a freaking quarterback, you don't have a running back, you don't have a number one receiver, you don't have really anything outside of Brock Bowers and Colton Miller on offense. And then defense, you got Max Crosby. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like it's it's a talent deprived roster, so it's going to be hard to make a guy like that want to go there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially
Shout
as
out to
much as
Vrabel though. Shout out to
attention he
Vrabel.
has. Yeah, shout out Vrabel back in the head coaching position on Patriots, bringing back. I guess you could call him alumni of
Yeah,
New England
yeah,
alumni. See what he can
yeah.
do up there. He got a good quarterback. Needs a lot of help. Bro, we talked about it. I hope that they give him an actual tenure of time to put the team together and not just be like, he didn't win anything, fire him.
Yeah, yeah, well, I agree. Or oh, he won the last game of the year and bumped us down to like the third pick, cut him, like or whatever
Right.
that was. Mayo got screwed, but
Yeah,
at the end of the
100%.
day, he did. Let's be honest, he did.
1,000%. All right, moving on to Sunday's game. Obviously, Commanders Lions, 8 p.m. game, night game. It's gonna be an awesome game to watch. Uh, Game of the week, I think. Obviously, between Ravens, Bills, Commanders, Lions, but I think the Ravens, Bills, there's gonna be a little bit more defense being played. from both teams. I just think the Commanders Lions game could just be an absolute bonkers shootout. I don't have a pick for that game yet. By the end, I'm potentially have one. I kind of want to lean on the Commanders to cover the 9.5. The Commanders have the ability to put up points. They have an awesome game plan. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now. Rams and Eagles. You called it, man. You called it last week. You said the Rams are that team that just does not go away. It's like the annoying little brother that I don't have an annoying little brother, and you don't have an annoying little brother, but it's what I imagine an annoying little brother like the Rams are. For some reason, they are always just nagging. They're just there and nagging and nagging, and you can't get rid of them. And the Matt Stafford that needed to show up showed up and played mistake-free football. Kyron Williams ran the ball really well, and they absolutely dominated the Vikings. They were blanketing the hell out of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. They weren't letting him space, and it shut that offense down. I mean, let's be honest. The Minnesota Vikings laid an egg. I mean, 27-9 when everyone was anticipating the Vikings versus the Lions. Round number 3, let's go. And Los Angeles Rams and Matt Stafford said, not today. We're going to Philly.
Yeah,
What's your
dude, that game,
dude?
that game.
Sam Darnold, bro.
Well,
Sam Darnold lost.
sacked 9 times. Is that what it
It
was?
was yes, 9 times for 82 yards.
9 times, bro. This dude got sacked. And some of them, we seen it with the Lions. So the Lions put out the blueprint for how to attack
Yes,
the Vikings. The Vikings have
yes.
been looking for an interior offensive line probably since Matt Burke and Steve Hutchinson. It's been a long time. And like the Lions they were just attacking that middle of that line and just beating the shit out of their line. And dude, the Rams took notes, bro, and they were like, you know what, we're not gonna go around them, we're gonna go through them, and that's exactly what they did. And they just constant pressure for Sam Darnold, to the point to where he's holding the ball too damn long, and also protection's just breaking down. I mean, there's a lot of variables, when he's
Yeah, absolutely.
holding the ball for 4 seconds, that's like an eternity in the NFL. But at the same time, if your protection breaks down right at the snap, then you
Instantly.
start to, yeah, there's only so much you can do when you get pressure in your face because obviously you got to drive through your throw. So when the running game's just non-existent, and once again you become a one-dimensional offense, this is kind of what happens, and then the Rams just beat the
I
balls off
mean,
of them, man.
the 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 pressure that and Braden Fisk only had a half a sack, but the pressure that dude was putting up the middle every snap was nuts. that dude was trying to go to the Pro Bowl off of a playoff game, bro.
Dude, and that's just that's the thing, man. It's dude, when somebody like the Lions, somebody like Aaron Glenn kind of exploits your defense, your offense like that, you would think that the Vikings would kind of be like, shit, we kind of
Go to the
got
drawing
interior of our
board.
line got exposed. We need to
Yeah,
figure out how we can fix this for whenever we go against, these teams moving forward. But they just
they did
couldn't.
nothing.
They couldn't do nothing.
They did
They couldn't do
nothing.
nothing.
And bro, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I will say this: I think Sam Darnold lost money the last 2 games of the season against the Lions and against the Rams. They were like, "Whoa, wait a minute, Sam Darnold isn't Superman."
I think so. I think Sam Darnold's kind of. He's still going to get paid.
Oh, he gonna get paid. That's for sure.
He's still going to get paid. I know we talked about it last week. What would you do? How would you, play
Yeah.
this out or whatever? I mean, I guess we'll see. But yeah, at the end of the day, it didn't help. It was kind of shades of the old Sam Darnold, man. When that pressure starts coming, dude, he kind of flakes out a little bit. But I don't know, he's played well, so
He's
I'd
played
like to see
excellent.
him go
No doubt.
somewhere or stay there and continue to have success.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, we talked about it, and we might as well stay on it. Uh, maybe Sam Darnold stays in Minnesota. Um, and you don't know how JJ McCarthy's going to be or what it's going to be with JJ McCarthy and Sam Darnold. You ride with Sam Darnold, or maybe the Vikings are just sold that he is the starter as long as he's healthy. But that might be something that he might want to look into, or I'm sure that's going to be a talk like, "Hey, am I going to be? Could I be the starter here again? Is there going to be a QB competition? Because I'm not opposed to letting JJ sit another year and sit behind him. You know what I mean? I mean, you guys played tremendous. You lost 4 games this season, and 2 were to the to the Lions, and 2 were to the Rams.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's just one of them things. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. Whatever he decides to, whatever he decides to do, whatever the Vikings decide to do, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out this off season.
Right?
But shout out to the Vikings though, man. They had a great year.
Yeah.
Did a lot
No one
better than most
expected him to
people.
be there.
No, no, and I really hate it for Justin Jefferson. I hate it for Harrison Smith and those guys. You know, like you finally start to round the corner, you know, and you're like, you guys are getting going, you're finding your identity and stuff like that, and then you just kind of flop. Uh, that has to be heartbreaking, especially in the fashion that they did. It's not like it was 25-27, you know, like
Right.
they got the shit kicked out of them. So yeah, it's unfortunate, man, but I think the Vikings, the future is bright.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
But the
As long
Rams,
as
dude, yeah,
as long as that quarterback position is solidified with the Vikings, I think they'll be all right.
yeah, and with the Rams, man, I mean, they just do their thing, bro. They do. They play their game. They do their shit. Matt Stafford wins games. You know, their defense looks like shit on paper, but you know they go out and they make stops and everything. It's like, damn, dude, like that's just the Rams, man. That's their thing. I don't get it. I've been waiting for this fall off, dude. Like,
Just an
I figured Matt
abomination.
Stafford. You remember whenever they signed all them old? They got Von Miller, Matt Stafford, all
Yes,
them guys that went on the
yes.
Super Bowl run. I was like, all right, they got another year or two, or they're done, dude. They're still hanging in there. Like,
They're
you know, good on them, man.
they're rolling.
They
They're
are.
rolling.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's dive right into this Rams Eagles game, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Eagles are way too much for the Rams. I that Eagles defense is so complete in the way they're playing. Jalen Hurts doesn't look the greatest. But when you have Saquon Barkley running for 100 yards every single game, you don't have to look great.
No,
um, and the defense is just stingy. They don't give up yard. I mean, they just, bro, that defense is nasty. 3 interceptions. Didn't they have a fumble? Maybe they didn't have a fumble. No, they didn't. Uh, but 3 interceptions. The Jordan Love that we said couldn't happen happened. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. We said that this Jordan Love could not show up and happen, and he did, and this is the result: 22-10. And honestly, it could have been a lot worse. Um, I don't know. Jalen just hasn't been great, but Saquon making up for that. And the Rams gave up some rushing yards last week to the Vikings. Nothing crazy. It's not like we're talking like the Ravens were Steelers, but they gave up some yards, and we're also talking about Josh Jacobs to Saquon Barkley. So I just think that the Eagles are way too much for the Rams. Um, I might be putting my foot in my mouth, and the Rams might be that nagging. Keep it close. But I think the Eagles win this game with no issues, like 24-10, something like that. They keep Matt Stafford under wraps. The pass rush gets home, and they force turnovers like they've been doing since they lost that one game, and they just went on that insane run. What's your thoughts with this Rams Eagles game?
I agree with you 100%. I think the Eagles are just too much for the Rams. I think it's kind of the end of the road for the Rams in this one. I think they had their big playoff win, which hats off to them, man. Like you said, nobody really
Yeah.
thought they could pull it off, and they did. But the Eagles they're just a juggernaut right now. I mean,
Yep.
with Saquon and Jalen, just the throwing, like the passes. I mean, he's so up and down. I don't get it. Like he got 2 touchdowns, you know what I mean? But still, it's like he's not hitting throws that he should hit, which has kind of been his problem, for some time. But it's really showed up too as of late. So
Right.
I don't know. They're going to need Jalen Hurts to play better, but as long as Saquon Barkley's doing what he's doing, a team like the Rams, I don't think the Eagles should have any problems with. But that defense, man, um, Eagles defense is they're the real deal, man. They got it together, dude. They started off rough. The whole team started off rough this season, but they squeaked some games out early. But man, they're clicking on all cylinders now, and that goes to show you, dude. Like everybody was calling freaking Nolan Smith. They're like, oh, he's a bust. He's a bust. He sucks. You know, that's why you don't jump to conclusions and just call somebody a bust, dude. This dude has been on a warpath. Like
He's been tremendous.
he's been playing unbelievably well. He's done a great job putting pressure on the quarterback, getting them down. Like he's playing his ass off, man. Jalen Carter, obviously, he's about as close as unstoppable as you can get in the front. So I mean, dude, it sucks they lost to Kobe Dean. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, and
that's
it
a
didn't even
devastating
look
injury.
bad. That's what sucks, man.
Yeah, it didn't at all. Like it looked like nothing happened, and then you come to find out he has like what was it, torn ACL, something like that.
MCO? So, yeah, something
I'm just
torn.
like, man, like N'Kobe can't catch a break. He's a hell of a player, man. But yeah. I mean, even then, they still got Zach Bond. You know what I mean? So I think they're just gonna keep rolling like they have been. But yeah, I'm taking the Eagles in this one.
Couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. And then the big one. Your beloved Ravens going to Buffalo. 1 point favorites. In Buffalo. Freezing cold weather. I don't know where people think that the Ravens play in Florida in a dome, but they act like it's not freezing cold in Baltimore. Um, I said earlier this year the Ravens were about to nuke on the Buffalo Bills, and Derrick Henry about to go crazy again in Buffalo, man. I'm calling it. Derrick Henry. We said it on the phone. If the Ravens put together the same plan that they had against Pittsburgh, the Buffalo Bills are going to get absolutely destroyed. Um, the Steelers, they looked flat. They looked like they didn't want to be there. Went down 21-0 early. They just looked horrible. I mean, there's not even much to talk about that game. Yeah, they made it close, 28-14. They lost by 14. Blah blah blah. The Steelers looked like they didn't want to play football. They looked like they were just like, they laid down. And hats off to the Ravens. They showed up and they beat the shit out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there ain't no doubt about it. And there is no excuses to be made. It is piss poor not having your players ready, especially against the opponent that you play twice a year, that you play tough. And the last 2 times you guys played, I mean, you look like you didn't even have a football team out there. But the Ravens team, specifically the defense, is playing their best football at the perfect time. And I think the X factor of this game, call me crazy, but I think it's Kyle Van Noy getting to Josh Allen. What's your thoughts of this Ravens Buffalo game?
Man, I'm excited for this game. I am. I'm excited for it. I know the Ravens are excited for the challenge. I know Buffalo's excited for the challenge.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
it's gonna be it's gonna be a game to see. I think the weather is it's supposed to stink. Unfortunately, it would be nice to have it to where like it's cold, but it's not like hopefully it's not like excessive snow to where it's just kind of like a
Right.
probably a boring, mundane game. But both these teams like you said, everybody acts like Baltimore, like it's like down in freaking like South Beach or some shit. Like, dude, it's cold in Maryland too, man. So it's not our first rodeo playing in the snow or whatever. So I'm man, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic, but I agree with what you said, man. I think that Baltimore kind of needs to they have to employ the same game plan offensively that they did with Pittsburgh. Just get the ball going with Derrick Henry and get Lamar Jackson rolling on the ground, and then just mixing up those RPOs and everything. I mean, it's just I don't know how as a defender, like people are like, oh well, Patrick Queen should have did this, and it's like, I mean, yeah, like he's an NFL athlete and stuff, but I wouldn't like trying to think of how to react to one of those guys getting the ball in a split second. I don't know how you go about doing that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
Um, so if you get that rolling, man, and then Lamar's hitting his passes that he needs to hit, um, our offense is dangerous. The same can be said for the Bills too. I mean, you get James Cook going, you get Josh Allen going, and Josh Allen starts getting on the ground, and Ty Johnson has really stepped up for them too, especially in the passing game, man. Like
Ty Johnson's played really well.
he has, yeah, he's kind of bounced around a couple of teams, but I think he's found a home in Buffalo. He's kind of gives him that Fred Jackson type of feeling, from back in the day. Gives him like that safety net out of the backfield and whatnot. But I mean, they got weapons, dude. Everybody acts like it's just Josh Allen out there, but they got Cooper, they got Coleman, they got Kincaid, they got Dawson Knox. You
Curtis
know,
Samuel.
yeah, they got Curtis Samuel. You know what I mean? Khalil Shakir. Like, dude, they got weapons, man. Their offense is rock solid. Their offensive line, I mean, is rock solid. So I think I'm looking forward to this game, man. I'm looking forward to playing Buffalo again. Hopefully, we get the same result as we did earlier this year. But I know the Buffalo is a tough opponent, man. But I'm gonna roll with us on this one, man. I am. I'm gonna roll with us and roll the dice and hopefully not jinx it.
I will
Zay
say,
Flowers is doubtful, by the way. I don't think he's gonna play.
I did see that. Unfortunately, man, I want to see Zay in the playoffs, man. I want to see playoff Zay. But I did look. I have it up on the screen. It is saying that it's going to be around like 10, 12 degrees with the chance of snow, but less than an inch.
Perfect.
So that sets up for some serious ground and pound football, which Derrick Henry, man, I wouldn't want to tackle that big son bitch in the freezing cold. I can see
Yeah,
that.
especially in that cold, dude, with them pads and that hard ass ground, dude. He stiff arms you on that ground, dude. You might be done for the night. That'd ruin your whole week. No, man,
Minka.
that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I mean, you gotta play that style of the ball, man. And the quarterbacks, they gotta hit their throws when they can. I know they were interviewing Lamar Jackson about a couple of years ago whenever we played them in the playoffs last, and Lamar threw that interception, and their defense went down and started celebrating in the end zone and shit. And the guy was like, he said, "Do you remember that?" And Lamar was like, "Yeah." He said, I just watched that." He said, I haven't forgot. So yeah, hopefully Lamar got something for him.
I hope they're hungry, man. I really do. I hope that Baltimore's hungry. Obviously, it's wild as a Steeler fan to be a Baltimore fan as well. Just I like the players. I like their coach. I want to see them. I want to see them in the FC Championship. Um, and I think they have the team to do it. Lamar's playing his best football of his career right now. But not for nothing. The Buffalo Bills run game has come on very strong, and Josh Allen's not having to do everything. And James Cook's been rolling. I mean, hell, Buffalo against the Broncos, James Cook, Josh Allen didn't even have to throw the ball realistically. James Cook ran all over Denver, which I thought that was going to be Denver's strong suit, is stopping the run and forcing Josh Allen to make plays and extend, and it was the complete opposite.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
I mean, James Cook, 23 carries, 120 yards. And when you have a running back rolling like that, I mean, Josh Allen, 20 for 26, 272 yards. I mean, it opens up your playbook to the moon with whatever you want to do. The play actions was just eating. So hats off to the game plan. McDermott had them boys ready. I thought Denver Broncos defense, they had a real shot to like hang that game, and they came out the gate on fire. They threw that touchdown early, and then never scored again.
Yeah, that game was surprising for me. I was like, oh, okay, Denver. You know what I mean? Like, all right. And yeah, that was the last we heard of Denver.
Yeah,
Just, yeah, I was
absolutely.
like, damn, dude.
Yeah, I like the Baltimore -1 in this as well. I think I think this is Baltimore's. I think Baltimore has a real shot to go the distance, especially with the changes they made on defense and the way they've been playing defense. They're playing their best ball of the year at the perfect time. The offense has been potent pretty much all year, except for the one game against Pittsburgh whenever they lost to all field goals. But that was a complete different Baltimore team than it is now. Um, Unfortunately, that's all the games, man. That's all the games. It sucks. I got four
Yeah.
games, but I think we got a good weekend of football ahead of us. I'm excited. I'm excited for all the games. I think if Texans defense shows up, we have a real shot with the Texans. Um, the only game that I see that could be a nuke fest really is the Eagles and Rams.
Yeah, yeah, and even then, I mean, depends on how Jalen Hurts plays, you know, like honestly. Yeah, as long as Jalen Hurts plays a good game and plays mistake-free football and all that, dude, I think they'll be fine. You know, like I think that the Eagles will be fine. But if Jalen Hurts is out there throwing stupid passes and or throwing
Yeah,
interceptions or anything like that, or fumbling the damn ball, man, could make the game interesting. You know, it could make
could
it
make it
interesting.
really interesting. Yeah, and hey, if
Yeah,
the Rams can slow down Saquon, it could get real interesting.
yeah. I mean, this is it's a tall task in itself, but I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Hey, it's the NFL, man. These are the best players in the world for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why Kenny Pickett should be playing. He's healthy. He's
mm,
healthy. He'll be suited up. You'll see him out there with the clipboard.
I'm pretty sure that even if Jalen went down, Tanner McKee's playing.
Probably.
Kenny Playoff's gonna have football throw him again.
Yeah, old Kenny playoffs.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Uh
did
oh.
you see that? Did you see that thing with the Eagles fan?
Yes, with the girl.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that they found that dude. That dude's a piece of shit.
dude, I couldn't believe they found him so quick. I was dying. Like, I was like, holy shit, dude! They took like his like professional like work photo and shit. Like, he got fired.
Yeah.
I was like, damn,
Dude,
dude.
there is no room anywhere for that type of behavior. I get it, supporting your team, but to treat someone like that, man, woman, child, that's unbelievable. I mean, me and you, me and you, my dad, we've been to a million games. You've wore your Raven stuff, and people mess with you, but no one's ever gone to that extent.
No, no, dude. I'm not gonna say it like the F word, but man, it's a freaking game, dude. Like, it, I get it, like you're passionate, you're fired up, like you want your team to win, and like you got fans and you guys are like bantering back and forth, bickering, whatever. But that's the atmosphere. That's fun. But when you start attacking somebody personally, like he called her like an
Yes.
ugly bitch or something like that,
He
and
actually called her an ugly. See you next Tuesday.
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and it's like, dude, there's no that is so uncalled for, dude. This is sports, man. You know, it's a game, dude. Like I get being passionate and having fun, and like you talk your shit, dude. I
Yeah.
get it, man. But like at the end of the day, like you see, like there was there was two Steeler fans after the Ravens Steeler game that got in a fist fight, you
Yes.
know, and it's like
Yes.
you're fighting over like, you know what I mean? Like what are you all doing?
Listen, you're treating this woman like shit, and you guys are fist fighting over people that don't know you from a can of paint.
No, a lot of people are gonna look at you that you think like, you know, that you're like you think that you're trying to like stick up for them. It's like, dude, they're gonna look at you and think like, what a clown, dude.
Yeah, an
Like,
idiot.
bro, we're playing a game.
He's banned from all Eagle home games now. I mean, Dude's an
Yeah,
idiot.
yeah, dude. Like he issued like an apology or some shit. It's like, dude, if you weren't on camera, you never would have said shit. You
Nope.
never would have apologized. You never would have did
It was
nothing, dude. It was
done.
completely
Damage was
uncalled
done.
for. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Like deal with your freaking. You made your actions, dude. I mean, you did your actions. You got to deal with your consequences, man.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, bro. I mean, there's no place in any type of sports, like you said. Being passionate, that's one thing. But just to be downright ignorant and nasty, dude, uh, I don't get it. I've been to so many home Steeler games, and never once have I ever gone up to a fan and called him a piece of shit or like attacked their character or anything like that. Like, yeah, I talk my shit. I'm like, oh yeah, your team sucks. Like, when's the last time you won something? You know, like your typical, you're bullshitting back and forth, but like nothing like to that extent.
Yeah, man. Like you have your things, like dudes. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, you Ravens fan, blah blah blah. You know, it's like, oh, shut the, like
Yeah,
all that
right.
stuff. But it's like it's harmless, dude. You know, like it doesn't go anywhere past like, like after a minute, like you're like laughing and fist bumping them. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
it's
exactly.
that atmosphere, dude. It's sports, bro. We're here to have freaking fun, bro. Like that's what we're here for. Like when Torrey Smith caught that touchdown, we talked about on the podcast before. Me, you, and your dad were at that game, and like, dude, I just felt like a wall of people just like behind me. I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? But it was cool. Like everybody was pissed, but like every, like they talked their shit or whatever. I talked my shit, and that was it. Like
Yeah.
that's how it's
Yep.
supposed to be, dude. But these people out here, like them 49er fans, I think it was earlier this year that were fighting in the bathroom. It's like, dude,
Oh
what are
yeah.
y'all doing? Man, it's crazy, dude. Like it's not worth the fight. It's not
It's
worth
the
the possibly
it's a,
killing somebody, hurting somebody, the fines,
right.
not getting to go to games anymore. I mean, dude, you can riddle off shit, dude. It's not worth it. At the end
I
of the
mean,
day,
this
it's not
dude
a big
lost his
deal.
career.
Yeah, dude, like over a freaking football game, dude. Like, God, man. Like, in a way, like I almost feel bad for the dude, and then I watched the clip again, and I'm like, screw this dude.
Yep.
You know,
That's exactly
you
how
should
I
have went at
was.
that girl like that. There was no reason for that.
And that's like everyone around him was like, bro, chill. And he just keeps going.
Exactly, yeah. And that dude that was with her too. I don't
He's
know
a
if that was her
he's a
boyfriend.
bitch.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah, he's kind of a
Bro,
bitch, dude. Like,
hey, let someone let me and T go to a game and someone talk to Terry like that.
yeah,
I'll
that's what
be
I'm
getting
saying.
banned because I'm throwing hands. And I can
Yeah, he's
promise you,
standing there.
Terry's throwing hands right behind me.
Oh yeah, she's throwing hands. Um, yeah, that dude had like his towel on him and shit or whatever. Well, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Say something. Like,
Right.
goddamn.
Why are you? And that's the
Jesus.
thing. Like, she wasn't even entertaining him. She was looking forward. She was like, "Yeah, whatever. Like, this dude's a clown." And he just kept going and go. I'm like, "Damn, dude! Like, what the hell?"
Yeah, man. It's like, dude, you need to go home and look in the mirror or something, dude, and
Yeah.
figure something out, man. Like he shouldn't have went at her like that. She didn't deserve it. I mean, I don't know what was said or done before. I doubt it was anything to warrant that at all.
Well, I mean, the one video I seen, it was a full clip, like from beginning to end, like start to finish, and it was she was cheering because the Packers got in the end zone, and he called her a dumb "see you next Tuesday" because they reversed the call. It was on that run from Josh Jacobs whenever he just went beast mode, and
Yeah. Yep.
he ended up getting ruled down at the one. He's like, "It's not a touchdown, you dumb." And I was like, "That's how it all started," because she was cheering for her team.
See, that's get over yourself, dude.
I,
So you think
uh,
Saquon Barkley's gonna come up there and like fist bump you, dude? Like,
Right,
no.
right.
No, Saquon's gonna be like, dude, tell that clown to get out of here, bro.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I had to bring that up. Yeah, that shit
No, I'm
was
glad you
wild, man.
did.
I was
No,
like,
that's
what
a
the
good
hell?
topic. I'm glad you did. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the games. Before closing thoughts, we're going Houston versus Chiefs over 41.5. We're going with the Eagles -6.5. We're going with the Baltimore Ravens -1, and I'm leaning. I'm gonna go Commanders +9.5. I think Commanders keep this game a lot closer than anyone anticipates. So that's the 4 picks for the weekend. Any closing thoughts?
I'm just hoping for some good football, man. I just want to see some good, clean football. I don't want to see any uh questionable calls or no calls or any of that bullshit
Especially ones that
controversial
dictate
stuff.
the game.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. If it's something stupid early, an eligible man downfield, illegal formation, wasn't lined up on the center, that bullshit. Like, please reevaluate that frickin' rule. But if it's something like that early on, whatever, dude. But these pass interference, ticky tacky crap that people go from their own 40 to the frickin' 5 yard line on the other side of the damn field. It's like, dude, like we got to stop that. We got to stop that, man. You know what? I was thinking real quick. So that had happened. I can't remember what game I was watching. This was like 2 weeks ago, but I was like, man, I wish that pass interference wasn't a spot foul. I wish it was like a 15-yard penalty.
Like college.
Is that how it is in college?
College football, pass interference is either a 10 or 15-yard penalty first down. Yep.
Yeah, like I would almost rather be that just because like the handsy bullshit, like it just pisses me off. I mean, it does. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, if this dude's wide open and this corner just tackles him, he's just going to take the 15. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yep.
there's
It's a
problems with
double-edged
it
sword.
too. Yeah, yeah, because that's what I would do. It's like in the NBA, like I'm going to make him shoot two free throws instead of making a layup, so they foul him. But like that's how it would work in the NFL too. It's like, well, I'd rather lose 15 than give up this touchdown, so I'm just going to tackle him. So it's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword. Yeah,
I get
but
what you're saying, though. There needs to be some kind of evaluation somewhere. And I get the spot foul thing because, I mean, exactly what you said. I mean, dude's wide open. You just tackle his ass. I mean, screw it. They were on the 10-yard line. Now they're only at the 25
yeah,
instead of on the 50. You know what I mean? So it is a double-edged sword. And it's a fine line. I get what you're
exactly.
saying 100% though.
Yeah, that's all I got then, man. Let's hope for some good playoff football, man.
For sure. Um, for me, I just want to say thanks to everyone that's been riding with us all season. We got two more two more big games. Well, actually, technically, we got two big games and then one big game. So three big games left in the season. Um, we're gonna be covering it. We're gonna be rocking. We're gonna be talking about all the coaching. We're gonna talk about each team and what we think they should do. Actually, I'm just gonna bring it up right now. I was gonna bring it up to you off the live, but I'm gonna bring it up to you now. I was thinking instead of making like 2 3 hour long videos, we maybe break down, depending on work schedule, obviously, and how it goes. But maybe break down like a team on a live stream. Like, let's take a look at what the Raiders should look at in the draft, and just break down the Raiders as a whole, and then seeing how we'll give it a test run, see how long it goes, and if it's like 30 minutes, then we'll break down two teams. So we'll do two teams alive. That way, it gives us the build up, and the show isn't 3 hours long trying to break down six teams at a time. You know what I mean? Just try to keep them short, sweet, and simple, and keep people entertained with it.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. And we could talk about like, if I don't know, we can have like a short one about once the coaches and stuff start moving and everything
Yeah.
like that
Yep.
and free agency, and then we can, there's plenty of stuff that we can talk about. And obviously the prospects coming up for the draft and stuff. There's a lot of people returning to school. There's a lot of people that are gonna once the college playoffs and everything are over, everybody will start putting in for the draft or to return to school. So that'll give us a lot of different things that we could touch on as well.
I'm glad you said college playoffs. Lock it in. Ohio State minus 9.5 over Notre Dame. I don't give a shit if the line goes to 13. Ohio State about to nuke on Notre Dame. Uh, take it to the bank. There's your free pick for the day. But yeah, no, I mean, definitely got some things turned into my head of what to do in the off season. Obviously, we cover all the off season. We cover the prospects. We cover everything. We enjoy the drafts. So hence the name DraftCast. So yeah, if you ain't got anything else, I don't have anything else. We appreciate everyone that tuned in. Let's have some good football, man. Thank you, everyone, again. As always, we are Brandon and Steven. I just messed it up. That's the first time I messed it up all year. So kudos to me. I remember the first live that we were ever gonna do. We sat here on the phone for like 20 minutes trying to get it right. But let me run it back again. We are Brandon Steven BS Draftcast because all we do is BS about football. We will see you guys in the what? In next week. Next week is championship weekend. We'll see everyone in championship weekend. Thank you everyone for the likes. Thank you everyone for the shares. Thank you everyone for the follows. Thank you for the comments.